The CJI and the ADCC tournaments both took place this weekend. The ADCC is a long-standing tournament that runs. It is like the Olympics of Jiu-jitsu. And the CJI, created by Craig Jones himself, has come out of nowhere and just made such an impact on the world of Jiu-jitsu. This is one single guy out of Australia that's heading up the most renowned Jiu-jitsu tournament. He's going head-to-head with them on the same days in ADCC. ADCC has been around since 1998. That's a whole 20-year head start, and already Craig Jones is making such chaos throughout the broadcasting Jiu-jitsu world. And truthfully, it's all because of the crazy marketing that he's been doing. ADCC, as many know, again, I'm not a huge jiu-jitsu expert. I haven't been watching jiu-jitsu for that long. I'm just now getting into it. I've rolled around a bit, but I've never competed in jiu-jitsu, nothing like that. But they often market it as the Super Bowl or the Olympics of jiu-jitsu. And so out of nowhere, here comes Craig Jones, and he comes up with his own tournament because he wants fighters to get paid more, and that's the first and main point that he makes in countering the ADCC. He's not just making his own tournament here, but he really stole a lot of the athletes, some big-time jiu-jitsu athletes that were going to compete in ADCC, that were ADCC qualifiers, that came to compete at the Craig Jones Invitational over the last weekend, the Friday and Saturday tournaments. So let me break it down just a little bit for you. Nothing too specific in terms of the matches. I just want to give you an overall on what just happened and how this is really revolutionary stuff in terms of the world of jiu-jitsu. So Craig Jones opened it up. He was offering to pay each athlete that competed, all 16 athletes that were competing amongst the two weight classes over 80 kilograms and under 80 kilograms, $10,001 just to show up. This was $1 more, specifically $1 more than what the ADCC pays the winners of each tournament, each weight class that they have. The winners of the CJI are going to earn $1 million each. So the ADCC also, they do a lot of the backdoor dealings. People know this. It's kind of on the underside of the table. Here's the brown paper bag with a couple $1,000 on it. That's kind of the way that they've been operating because they just don't want it out there. They want to pay the guys that deserve it, that kind of thing. So it's understandable. This is much like what the UFC does. So when you get into what the rule sets are for the specific one, ADCC, the way that they kind of score it, it's a little bit beyond me. I'm not, like I said, an expert, but it combines points-based scoring, kind of like how the UFC does it, the 10-9 system, and submission attempts, threats, takedowns, that kind of thing. The CJI has this whole new thing where it's 3 rounds of 5 minutes each, much like MMA, and each round is scored open so that the athletes get to see it and the fans get to see it after each round. So it's really interesting. ADCC is traditional jiu-jitsu mats with a big open area with a circle with drawn boundaries on it so that you can see when they go out of bounds so that they don't run into each other because there's lots of matches going on at the same time. The Craig Jones Invitational only had one match going on at each time, and it was the angled pit, kind of like karate combat. They called it the alley. So it was kind of this whole open area. It was about 30 feet by 30 feet and then some angled slants, which helps to instigate more grappling action in the middle and avoids the referee intervention when he has to stop them if they're getting close to out of bounds or whatever. So again, the marketing of this is what stole the show, and we'll get into some of the numbers in just a few minutes, but Craig Jones went on this just absolute marketing tear. He went on all these podcasts, he did all these funny social media videos, crazy social media videos that were just absolutely hilarious, and that's what really sold it. But he went on Ariel Helwani's show, the MMA Hour. He went on Sugar Sean's show. He went on the Jocko podcast. He talked with the More Plates, More Dates guy, Joe Rogan, Morton Combat. He even went on Lex Friedman a couple days before the event. He just had these hilarious, provocative, really just obscene, obtuse, crazy social media videos that just had him going viral. Even poking outside of the jiu-jitsu world, he bled into the MMA world, he bled outside of the MMA world and into the mainstream media even a little bit because people just thought the stuff was so blasphemous and crazy. The first intergender match between him and Gabby Garcia, playing up the sexual tension there. It was just great, great stuff. He also produced some vlogs that were really interesting. Craig Jones is just a hilarious guy across the board, and it was awesome to just see him in these vlog settings. The views were off the charts on the vlogs. The views were off the charts on the MMA. In the MMA world, they were just spreading all over the place. The ADCC was getting pissed off with every coming day, counting down to the tournament. Craig Jones was just going up and up and up, and the ADCC was losing a lot of validity. The whole thing with Gordon Ryan's Miata that he gave away, that then somebody sold to Craig Jones, and then Craig Jones is using it in the marketing of the Craig Jones Invitational. Like, it's just this whole insane thing between the Craig Jones, the B team, and then the New Wave team with Gordon Ryan. It's just this whole rivalry. So there's like these two sides, and guys are competing at each one, some of the teams of each one, and everybody just seems to want to go over the Craig Jones, and just chaos in the jiu-jitsu world. And so let me get into the numbers here a little bit. So look, this was after the Gabby Garcia and Craig Jones match. He made her submit, tapped out, second round. But Craig Jones, during the time of the match, there was about 150,000 viewers on YouTube. 150 live streaming viewers. Now, let me put this into context for the sports world. Pat McAfee averaged about 20, 30, 40,000 viewers, and that's a ton for YouTube live stream viewers to hold over a 2 or 3 hour stream. Craig Jones and the Craig Jones Invitational was holding about 100 to 150 strong for 8 hours straight both days. This is absolutely insane numbers, and compared to the ADCC, which official numbers haven't come out yet for the broadcast, but you can tell right away that this was just unparalleled in terms of the jiu-jitsu world. Craig Jones is saying that there was 1.2 million overall viewers in the post-fight interview. Let's go to the Flow Grappling, which was live streaming a little bit of the event for ADCC. The ADCC live streamed the first round, the plus 99 kilogram division, the heavyweights, 227,000 views. That is nothing to sneeze at, don't get me wrong. Honestly, this whole competition between ADCC and CJI is really, really good. It's going to grow the sport, hopefully. Hopefully they take both sides of this, take it in the right direction, and make something really bigger and really better than what we could ever have before, and that's what I'm excited for. But if we go over to the CJI, the B Team YouTube channel, you can see here 1.2 million views Sunday, the second round. 1.8 million views on day number 1. These are absurd numbers. The UFC, in general, when they're on ESPN with an Apex Fight Night card, averages about 100 to 300,000 viewers. And the Craig Jones had, throughout the entire match, the whole stream had 100 to 150,000 viewers. At one point during the Cade Rutolo match, there was 160,000 people watching because everybody was telling their friends, hey, you got to tune in, this match is going to be crazy. And that match was absolutely balls to the walls, one of the best jiu-jitsu matches I've ever seen in my life. I was so happy to be able to watch it live. Let's go over to some of the social media numbers and check them out. Yes, these posts, this one, just a picture of them, but look at these highlights. 12,000, there's Luke Rockhold, 15,000, 36,000, 47,000, 1,000, 3,000, but the highlights, man, they're just killing it on social media. 30, 40, 20, 30, 25,000 viewers at one time, all these highlight videos. The ADCC, for example, has way more followers on Instagram, and they're doing roughly the same, if not worse than the CJI numbers in terms of the views overall. Even the Gordon Ryan match, 6,000, 2,000. Scroll down, 6,000, 2,000. This one's got 30. That was a great match between those two guys there. 3,000, 4,000, 2,000, 1,000. Like, these numbers are comparable, truthfully. Let me close that out, apologies. But these numbers are really, really close. There's nothing really disparaging between the two. Like, if anything, the Craig Jones Invitational did better numbers overall. It's insane that this guy came out of nowhere and did all of this with just some basic marketing that he barely even had to pay for. All that we need to do right now is support these guys, make sure these guys get paid, watch everything that we can in terms of jiu-jitsu, and get this whole thing growing, because we can't stop now. We can't just do it on one weekend of the year. We have to keep this going, make sure we watch these guys, tune into all their matches, keep this thing growing, If they do this again next year and they have this rivalry thing, that's okay, but we want to ultimately, through competition, grow the entire sport of jiu-jitsu, and I'm really excited because Craig Jones came out of nowhere, put on an excellent marketing campaign where he barely spent any money. The ADCC, on the other hand, was spending a lot of money to be at the T-Mobile Arena, which is a big deal, but ultimately, what does that mean? The athletes for the ADCC were not getting paid as much. Craig Jones came in, stole the show, paid the athletes, and did his thing, and ran circles around the ADCC this weekend, and it was really, really good to see. That's only going to improve ADCC. Competition breeds excellence.